Sorry about the delay, guys.
Okay, you're live.
Okay, I'll call the meeting back to order from the short recess, and we'll continue on with the mayor's presentation of our new hires. Started October 21st, 2024, we have Kyle Hawk, Water Production Maintenance Tech. Is Kyle here? All right, welcome aboard. Glad you're here, Kyle.
Where's he from?
So, are you a homeboy or you moved here from somewhere?
Moved here from Lubbock back in 2019.
All right. So, well, we're glad you're
Welcome.
here to help us out. That's good. The next person is Darius Aragon with the fire department. Firefighter, all right. So, you grew up here?
No, I'm from Colorado.
All right. Good. So you've been in the hills, huh?
Yeah.
All right. That's what we need.
Welcome.
And next, we have Luis Chavez for the Regional Wastewater Treatment Plant, a maintenance tech. All right. So where'd you come from, Luis?
I come from Gallipoli.
Okay, good. Have you got your level certification started, or?
Do soon, yeah. I'll be taking my level.
All right, well, good. Continue that, because this is a great organization to work at, so we appreciate you applying. So, well, that's it for our new hires and the promotions, but I will stay on, or I'll move to the manager's report, and I want to get an update from Miss Carrie Glanton with the agency on the village's website. Carrie, are you on board? Thank you, Min.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm here.
Proceed.
Okay. Just wanted to give you a quick update on the the municipal website that was recently launched, and let you know that it is live and that it is, it's been out there on a soft launch for about 2 weeks now, and that's given us time to, address any bugs or issues that might come up. So the project goals, and I should start by saying that this was supposed to go live like literally right during the middle of the fires. So we obviously pushed the launch date back to accommodate the stuff that was happening in the village at that time, and that my team was pulled off to do other things. So we are glad that it's finally here. Next slide, Yvonne. The objective was to create a user-friendly modern website, and the old website, it was about 8 years old, and we had made continuous updates to it, but the platform that it was built on was still 8 years old. So no matter what updates we did to it, there were still some things that had become degraded over the years. So we had the main goals of improving the navigation, the ease of navigation, ensuring accessibility and mobile friendliness. We wanted to prioritize, in light of what we all just went through, prioritize emergency communications and how we can better message information, up-to-date information to our citizens, and then just to enhance the visitor engagement. And so before we go any further, on the right-hand side of the slide there, you can see where up at the top in the yellow, that's where we can use, like the village offices were closed yesterday for Veterans Day. So we can use that to message that. We have direct links to the disaster recovery dashboard that was created during the fires. And also we can speak to our fire restrictions there. And then below that is a new navigation, which highlights information that that a lot of people go to the website for. And when I'm going to refer to that several times as we go through this, that this is all data-based. It's not like, well, we think this is what people want to see. This is us going through and analyzing all of our traffic patterns, what what's the most requested, most visited pages on the website. So you can see there in the squares that we have emergency information, webcams, a way to give feedback to the village, and then visiting Ruidoso, which then links you out to the tourism website, which will give you all the information, as you know, on visiting Ruidoso. And then when you come down to the next level, to the top nav, then you'll see all of the navigation tabs that will get you inside the website and to, the specific pieces of information that you're looking for. Next, Yvonne. And so again, it's just our main goal was to improve online access to services, and we wanted the design to reflect our commitment to that, the village's commitment to, always enhancing and providing services to our businesses and residents as efficiently as possible, and to make it so that they don't land on our homepage and lose their mind trying to find something specific. So the next slide, Yvonne. We have on the homepage, when you have a chance to go and look at it, just know that all of the icons that are here under top requested, those again are based on data from the traffic on the current village website. And so you can see we've modernized the look and the feel and streamlined the user experience so that it's just, people aren't digging around trying to find things. We changed up the homepage layout, and then we also added the language translation widget, which you can see down there on the bottom right. And we added that on the tourism page about 1.5 years ago. And I think the last report we gave to date, that had been used about 7,000 times. So that shows that there's an audience that is looking for information, that would rather see it. And in our area, it's mostly in Spanish. So that is there now a feature on the website. And then we customize, a lot of municipalities can go out and they can get a real templated version of a website. And what we wanted to do was to build it so that it keeps our branding and our look and feel at the forefront, and doesn't look like, let's say, Roswell's website or Alamogordo's website with just a different color schematic. So I think we were able to accomplish that and provide navigational ease. Next one. And I think when we did this, some of our key achievements that I wanted to point out is that we kind of did a recategorization of services and resources to, again, help that navigational ease. We did improved readability, so it's a clean and accessible design. And that means whether you're looking at it on your big desktop, your mobile, your iPad, and then also for those that are, that have disabilities, we've hit all of the accessible points on making sure that it is accessible to everyone. And then finally, easy to manage public meetings, notices, and government documents, because we always want to be transparent to our citizens and have accountability, and let them be able to see on the website that we are constantly putting out information for the public to see. Next. As I mentioned earlier, we did add dedicated emergency and disaster recovery portals. And what we had done in the past is each time, if we would have a fire or a freeze event, we would stand up what we called a microsite inside the village website. And working with our emergency manager, we decided that we needed to have a dedicated emergency information module that was always in place. And so we built that, and then that's in addition to, we still have the recovery dashboard that you have direct access to, and we will still have, stuff like that for future things that future events that happen. But like this, the dedicated emergency information portal, we have the interactive emergency management map that will live there. And the minute that an emergency happens, that map starts being managed from the by the emergency manager from the incident command. And so that will, allow residents, as soon as a road is closed, as soon as, evacuations are issued for a certain area or whatever, that will be available in this portal. So I think that's a big kind of value add that we now offer to the public. Next. And we enhanced our public meetings and notices page in a few different ways. If any of you have ever gone to look up maybe the lodger's tax meeting agenda, and we've always linked to PDFs, which, as you know, if you're on your phone, you basically just have to do a whole lot of scrolling and a whole lot of making it bigger and moving it over. And so now we have detailed, easy to read listings that replace those hard to read PDF links. We still offer the PDF links so that if somebody does want to print it out and have a hard copy, you can do that. But you also can just scroll up on your phone and see it right there, and you don't have to do any manipulation. And another thing is we did a filtered search. So you're able to quickly locate specific meetings and notices. You don't have to go through long lists if you're looking for village council or Parks and Rec or lodger's tax. You just type that into the filter search and it'll just pull up whatever it is that you're searching for. So hopefully that will be a nice convenience for anybody using it. And then we also added a committee-specific drop-down so that in the past, we had all of our committees and boards on one page. And now you can go and you can pick Parks and Rec, Community Development, or Lodger's Tax. And it'll take you to a page that has when their meetings are, who their members are, what their contact information is, and anything to do with that particular committee. Next. We also have a searchable municipal calendar. So in the older version, we had a calendar for the community center. We had a calendar for health and safety trainings. We had a calendar for council meetings and other public meetings. And now we have one monthly calendar. And as you can see, some days have a lot on it. Some days have one or two things. But again, like I said on the previous slide, the nice thing that you can do is you can go to this page and you can type in community center. It will only show you community center events. Or you can type in health and safety trainings. It will only show you that. And again, this is mobile friendly. So the calendar blocks adjust to fit the page when they're viewed on either an iPad or a mobile device. So I think that will help a lot. And again, the benefits of doing that is just improving the transparency and encouraging community engagement, because we want people to be engaged. We want them to be able to access the information that they're trying to access and wanting to access. Next.
Carrie, just a second, because I have a question for Jenny. With these notices being posted on here, does your office still have to do the announcements of public meetings?
For everything except the village council meetings, which those, as you know, go on Novus Agenda, but we still post all of the, we'll post all the notices, the packets as they become available.
Right, so we're trying to be, Mayor Pro Tem Salas and Council, we're trying to become more diligent in that, teaching the boards and commissions when they do have meetings to forward those to us, and we post them not only on the TV, but we'll be sending them to Carrie for the website and the Facebook page.
Yeah, we've started posting everything on both our Facebook page and our Twitter page, or X, whatever you want to call it. And so there's, more ways than just the website that people can see what's going on.
Okay,
So,
go ahead.
so if chairman of the committee, are they the ones that have to send everything to Carrie now?
No, normally, the department heads of that committee do, like I do with my committees that I have, Parks and Rec, their admin
I
assistant
was
will
just
send to
wondering
us.
if that had changed.
So the admin assistants for each of the departments that have boards and commissions send it to the clerk's office for
Okay.
posting.
Okay.
Okay,
thank you.
then as we have said through this entire presentation about streamlining communication and resident involvement, we have put a village feedback form, and we had a form on the previous webpage where you could, report a pothole or, and now what we've done is we've created one that is for the purpose of reporting non-emergency issues. And it's a super easy to use form, and you just fill out, if you can do a question, you can report an issue, request service, if there's a pothole somewhere, something that you see that, you want to get to the village. And then it's direct communication with the village team for timely responses. So, that again, hopefully encourages resident involvement. And, instead of being mad that there's a dumpster across the street that a bear's gotten into, just hop on here, send us a quick note, and I can guarantee that someone will get Jerry and his guys to take care of that. Next one. And finally, just thank you guys for Village Council and Mayor Pro Tem and the village manager for your patience and for your support in getting this project over the finish line. As I mentioned earlier, it was supposed to be a couple of months ago, and because of everything that was going on, we just, all agreed that it was best to push it back. Our next steps, if there's any community feedback, any feedback from the departments, we will work with them to implement those. And then the microsites that currently sit under the village website. So it's like Parks and Rec, the police department, and the public library. We will now begin working with them to revamp, because they're kind of like a whole site within a site. So we'll be working with them to revamp and redesign their websites. And so we just, hope that this gives the village a tool to communicate with our residents and makes our residents feel like they have great access to everything going on in the village of Ruidoso. And that's all I have. I will stand for questions.
Yes,
Carrie, outstanding work, and I haven't had a chance to publicly thank you for the outstanding communications you ran during the fire and floods. So thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
any other questions? I have one request, Carrie.
Yes.
I can't find that microphone icon to get to the radio station.
It should be under community services.
Oh, okay.
Community. So that's one of the things that we did with the recategorization is try to make it, tried to pull those apart so they weren't caught in a long list of departments.
So community service isn't on the top request then?
No, on,
It says community.
hold on, let me
Just
jump over there
community,
on the,
okay.
Right there, and then you click on it.
Oh,
and
there it
first-
is, okay. Good.
Yeah.
Now I know.
yep.
Any other questions? Carrie, you do excellent work as always. You got a great team, and we thank you for promoting Ruidoso.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We love working with you guys.
Thanks. All right, moving back onto the agenda, we will go back to where I started jumping around. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent regular items as presented.
I make a motion, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, that we approve the consent items as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Counselor Hooker?
Aye.
Counselor Corey?
Aye.
Counselor Jackson?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Salas?
Aye.
Counselor Letterman?
Aye.
Counselor Eby?
Aye.
Okay, moving on to the public input. We have 3 people that want to speak, and just the ground rules again, you have 5 minutes to speak. We cannot answer questions. It's not a carry-on dialogue, but state your name and your address or your business address, and then go ahead. And our timekeeper will be Counselor Hooker, and he'll signal you 2-minute warning, and you can make your presentation. Please don't say anything demeaning to employees or these guys. You could talk bad about me, you call me names, but not these guys or our attorney or any staff. We appreciate that, or your neighbors, for instance. So anyway, we'll start with Tim Owens. Is Tim here? All right.
Tim Owens, my home in Ruidoso is 145 Singing Pines. I'm from Longview, Texas, so I drive 800 miles to talk to you guys.
Oh, wow.
First of all, thank you for the efforts you all have done on behalf of our family. You saved our house from burning down. Unfortunately, we were on the river, and we've had a couple of floods. And that's what I wanted to talk to you a little bit about today, the timing and coordination of establishing a new floodplain. We've been on our house a little over 50 years. We've been through a couple of floods, 2008, 2024. You wanted to establish a special floodplain hazard and move the floodplain up. The watermark on our house was 28 inches. We basically have a deck, and the house is 6 foot from the ground and a foot above floodplain on the riverside, and tapers off to nothing. So the 28 inches only got under the house. It didn't give it into the living quarters. Got the heater and the water heater. I think we're a little premature in determining that floodplain. The example was my house. It's 1 foot above floodplain. If they move the floodplain, they're going to move it up the road, which is 10 to 15 feet. So my house will become from 28 inches in the worst flood we had to being 10 foot underwater. So you've done a lot of hard work on the city to look at where we've had flood lines and establish where the floodplains maybe should be, but that's not a survey, and it hadn't been surveyed. There's a third part coming with Cobb and whoever they are. They're going to establish the flood line, the actual flood line. So I think you're premature to establish the floodplain when you don't know where the flood line is. So if the flood line's 28 inches on my house and you move the floodplain to 10 feet, my whole house is underwater. So until you get the actual survey and the numbers, I think you ought to delay moving forward with your portion of the that has to do with the floodplain. I'm fine with updating the maps and the ordinance and things like that. That's fine. Second thing I had a concern about is how the flood impacts other projects we have. In my area of the river, we have the EPA sewer line project. It runs across the corner of my property. We have, in 2008, we had the river modified with Gibeon baskets by the Corps of Engineers. There's a project or a grant being worked on. I filled out an application for it. I don't know what happened or what the status is. 2 minutes. Okay. And what's happening is Gibeon baskets are being undercut. So the footings are being undercut. The baskets may collapse. So a third project we're working on is the Upper Canyon, the second bridge at some point will be replaced. I think we have funding for it, if I'm not mistaken. And once they get that cleaned up, that will allow the river to flow better and will not create a blockage or a dam which causes the river to back up into our portion of the canyon and impacts how deep the water is. Fourth thing we have is our fifth thing is there's some river work being done on the reservation. We don't know what it is. We just know that there's a big difference in how much water comes down the canyon whenever it rains. And it's no longer terribly muddy. It's cleared up, so it looks like that something's being done up there. And then at some point, I think yes, sir.
1 minute.
1 minute?
Yes, sir.
And the last point I have is that at some point, I think the Corps of Engineers is going to want the river cleaned out. They're not going to want to have it left. So with all those factors that are involved, I don't have a clear understanding, I don't know if anybody does, on how they're going to be coordinated so everything works together. So I think the city, and I live in Longview, Texas, so for me to get information, it's a little harder than just running down to the office. So I'd like to see better coordination or some kind of a roadmap on how we're going to get all these projects done and not waste money doing one project and then going back and tearing something up for another one. So if you all would work on coordinating the projects and would consider pushing back on the portion of them where you decide the floodplain, I would appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Owens. Next, we have Maria Benavides.
Good afternoon, Board.
Hi.
My name is Maria Benavides, live at 215 Grove. Where am I from? California, Chicago, then New Mexico. Recently moved here from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Beautiful. But I first would like to say, what a beautiful way to start a meeting. I usually have been going to the ones in Albuquerque, obviously. But prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance, that was just amazing. Wow. Blew me away. Thank you. I have three little issues. The first one is not mine, it's a couple of neighbors. But after they brought them up, I thought, I would like to know. They wanted me to ask if anybody has any information on what's happened to the individuals who started the fires. Of course, everybody has all those rumors, and I guess that's why they're concerned. There's three neighbors within the area that wanted me to ask if there was any way of somebody getting a hold of them to let them know what's going on with who started the fires. They know, but what happened? What's the update? They can't find anything, any information on what's going on with that. Excuse me. One of my concerns is on Grove Drive and the street below, the people coming down, the cars coming down that street are super speeding. One ran into the neighbors 2 houses down. She hit the one gate, the one fence, went through the yard and hit the other side of the house, the fence. So she knocked down both fences because she was speeding. And as she took that little, it's not even a curve, but that little turn there, she went through the yard. Another one is one of the other neighbors, he's more in the elderly, he's in a wheelchair. He goes to school every day to pick up one of his kids. I think the child is 7. And the child sits on the wheelchair with him, but somebody speeding down the hill hit him. They got hit, and they went flying. Thank God, both of them are okay now. The third incident, and this is only since September that we moved here from Albuquerque. We bought the house 2.5 years ago, but we moved here about a year ago. So the third one is the little girl, maybe 8 years old, next door was talking to the neighbor across the street. And she's my neighbor adult. And the adult said, "Baby, you need to come closer into the yard." She was on the dirt, but she wanted her more into the yard. As she moves into the yard, a truck that comes speeding down was inches away from hitting her if she hadn't moved. I don't want to wait till life. Mostly it's going to be the children. I don't want to, I need to find out what we can do about this Grove and the street down. The third point that really concerns me are these jets that fly over the sky. I have pictures of the clouds that are not clouds anymore, but they're affecting my health. They're affecting my husband's. I don't take my mom outside anymore. She just turned 96 for fear that she's gonna get, I've been to the doctors. They can't find anything wrong with me. The cough is getting worse, the wheezing is getting worse, and it's bad at night. It's not just me, thank you. It's friends that I know, neighbors that I know, people who are more out and about. I can't be the only one noticing this, that these jets, what concerned me is that one jet goes down, we get a warning, stay indoors because a jet just went down with hazardous chemicals. The other one that went down in Albuquerque a few weeks later, stay indoors because the jet had, excuse me, poisonous chemicals. That's what concerns me. What is flying over Ruidoso, my beautiful Ruidoso? I love this place. I love the people. I love my church. But this air is really hurting me. And so I just want to know what is that jet spraying into my clouds, into Father's clouds? It's affecting myself and people that I know. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you.
Next is Marie Temple.
Hi guys, some of y'all know me.
Oh, yes.
I'm a lifer, born and raised.
Yes, you are.
I'm here for the flood ordinance too, guys. I looked at it. I work on 143 Seguin Pines. My boss is Frank Richardson. Scott Spurlock's in between some of our property. And anyway, the new floodplain puts us totally underwater. And guys, the office didn't flood or the circle or something. So can we table it until we get a little more from maybe Cobb's? And y'all are welcome to come up and see where the actual water went. Our concern is eventually we want to tear down our guest house and move it back. But if we do the floodplain ordinance the way I read it, if we go with what they've got written right now, we'll be building a birdhouse. It'll be like 25 feet to the floor. And that's never flooded, even 2008. And I get the pictures of 2008. What people don't realize is more water went through our yard in 2008 than it did this year. This was just faster and brought debris. So that, I'm here to ask y'all to please table the ordinance so we get a little more information, if that's possible. And I appreciate all of you guys.
Thank
And I don't
you.
want to bore y'all.
Thank you very much, Marie.
Thank you.
Okay, that concludes our public input part. So I do have one other item under the mayoral reports and presentations, and that is a proclamation claiming November 2024 as Lung Cancer Awareness. And because it's quite lengthy, I asked Councilor Hooker to help me read it all.
Mayor Pro Tem, I'll start off reading the proclamation. Whereas lung cancer is the leading cause of death among men and women in the United States, accounting for more deaths than colon cancer, breast cancer, and prostate cancer combined. Whereas the 5-year survival rate for localized lung cancer is 60%, yet only 24% of lung cancers are diagnosed at this stage. Whereas screening for lung cancer for high-risk individuals using low-dose computed tomography can lead to the early detection of lung cancer and save lives, reducing the mortality by 20% when compared to screening by chest X-ray in the National Lung Screening Trial, and reducing the risk of death at 10 years by 24% in men and 33% in women, as demonstrated by another large randomized trial. Whereas funding for lung cancer research trails far behind funding for research of many other cancers, and additional research is needed in early diagnosis, screening, and treatment for lung cancer, as well as in lung cancer affecting women and lung cancer health disparities. Whereas lung cancer incidence is decreasing twice as fast in men as it is in women. Each year, more women die from lung cancer than breast cancer, and by 2035, more women will die from lung cancer than men. Whereas African Americans have the highest lung cancer incidence and mortality of all races, and disparities in lung cancer screening, diagnosis, treatment, and mortality are well categorized among African Americans and other racial minorities. Whereas lung cancer in individuals who never smoked is the 7th leading cause of cancer-related death and accounts for 17,000 to 26,000 deaths in the U.S. every year. 60 to 70% of individuals diagnosed with lung cancer who never smoked are women, and the proportion of lung cancers diagnosed in people who never smoked is increasing in the U.S. Whereas radium is the leading cause of lung cancer among individuals who never smoked and the 2nd leading cause of lung cancer overall.
I'll continue with whereas the stigma surrounding lung cancer creates barriers to early diagnosis, treatment, and funding for research, has a detrimental impact on quality of life of people diagnosed with lung cancer, and hinders awareness of the research into lung cancer risk factors other than smoking. Whereas lung cancer research is leading to breaking throughs in the identification of genetic alterations associated with lung cancer and the development of lung cancer treatments, including intramural, what is that?
Right here,
Yeah.
immune therapies.
Oh, immune therapies and targeted therapies. Whereas organizations working in such as the American Lung Cancer Screening Initiative and Women's Lung Cancer Forum are committed to educating about lung cancer and lung cancer screening and working to increase lung cancer screening rates. Therefore, I, Rafael Rifle Salas, hereby proclaim November 2024 as Lung Cancer Awareness Month in the village of Ruidoso and recognize the need for research in lung cancer affecting women and lung cancer health disparities, and encourage all citizens to learn about lung cancer and early detection through lung cancer screening. Thank you very much, Councilor Hooker. I could have got through all that. That is an important item. So now we'll go to the manager's report. I'll turn that over to Ron.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Salas. Just wanted to first start off, Mayor Pro Tem Salas, members of the council, Michael Martinez, Deputy Manager, myself, and Levi. We were over at the Infrastructure Conference in the 27th Annual Infrastructure Conference at Las Lunas. The village received the 2024 Best Practices Award for planning, and that was with our master plans that we provided to council. We had for the different utilities, all our utilities, doing the rate analysis study, and we started back in 2021. But I wanted to thank and recognize Judy Starkovich and her staff with finance, Dick Cook and his staff with the Forestry Service, Adam Sanchez with the Public Works and his water distribution staff, Jerry Parsons, Solid Waste and his staff, Christella and Ashley, Isaac Garcia and a wastewater treatment plant staff, Randy Kane and his staff with water production. They were the, I went up and received the award, and I thanked the committee, but I wanted to recognize that all the work was done by the departments that I mentioned, because, I mean, they're the ones that got the work done, and they did a fabulous job, and we do have the award here, and that was a great honor for the village.
Yeah, way to go.
I also wanted to recognize, we had a great October. Eric Queller, he did receive the Emergency Manager of the Year Award.
Yes.
And that was a great award for Eric and for the village. We also received an award, also the Village of Ruidoso at that time. And great job to Eric. And then last week at the New Mexico Floodplain Managers Association, our own floodplain manager received the Floodplain Manager of the Year Award, Ashley Carbajal.
Oh, my God.
Hey, Ashley.
And that's also a great honor, and to Eric and Ashley for all their hard work and dedication to the village. And, that's just having that happen to our staff and to employees in different departments, and it just makes me proud, and I know makes the mayor and the governing body proud. So thank you all
Yes.
again.
Yes, very much. Good job.
Our first update is going to be on 603 Meacham, and Michael Martinez is going to lead that effort. Also, Zeke Greer should be on. Do we know if Zeke is on? We were going to have an update on that, on how many homes. That's the project that we're working on 603 with the 10 homes.
10 homes, yes. Good afternoon, Mayor Pro Temp and Council. So just as an FYI, we are moving along on 603 Meacham. Pads are being completed. On pad number 8, footings have been poured. We're waiting for the home to arrive. That should be hopefully Wednesday or Thursday. Pad 10 is complete. It's been done for about 2 weeks. HomeSpot is currently digging the footings. The weather put them behind the last couple of weeks. There was also an issue where the contractors on the way up were hit by a drunk driver last week. And so they've actually been in the Ruidoso Hospital for a while, and they just got back, and now they're back in today for their job. So that delayed them for a couple of days as well. Pad 7 will be completed tomorrow, and they're going to be ready to dig the footings. We have an inspector coming out on Thursday to both inspect the footings and to inspect the electrical that's been going into those areas as well. Also, excavation is continuing on Pad 7, and hopefully that should be done tomorrow. And so once those items are completed, you'll start seeing, as we mentioned last week, you'll get a home this week, and hopefully once those those footings are poured and approved, the week after, you should see the other 2 homes coming in. And at that point, we should have all of the homes being positioned on the top portion. The last 2 pads that need to be poured are 4 and 5, which are the ones on the far side of the property, so the east side of that property. So those will be the last 2 homes that will be pending, and then we'll have a total of all 10 homes in. We have started this week. They have started utilities, and so that'll be a work in progress as well. And again, we're hoping that all gets done pending weather. We're knocking on wood, crossing fingers and toes, but we're hoping that that'll be done by December, so that everything is fully complete by January. Any
All right.
questions?
Any questions
I
from the
have
council?
one.
Go right ahead.
I was just wondering, why wouldn't they come in and just pour the pads, all 10 pads? I don't understand that.
Sure. So what has to happen is they have to cut each pad or fill each pad. They have to first build them. And so the dirt has to be level across the board. It's been a significant effort up on the top of the hill where they're working from. There's a lot of rock. And so to level out all of those areas has been a huge lift for them. So they just can't come in and pour the concrete. The dirt work is actually taking a significant amount of time. Once the dirt work is completed, it takes them 2 to 3 days to pour and then a week to dry.
Okay.
And the availability of concrete, my understanding, there's so much orders out that some projects are, citywide, that are on hold, or they just on a 2 weeks waiting list and stuff. My question is on the 10 by 10 storage units, are they gonna blend in with the with the houses? Or
Yes,
they
sir.
just Metal buildings?
No, sir. So all the 10 by 10 storage units that were ordered actually match the paint accordingly to each house. So those that have the dark tones on the top will match the same way. Those that have the light tones or the gray tones, those will match as well. The other component that I forgot to mention is that internally, we approved the scope of work for the landscaping component. So that should be on your next council meeting to go out for bid. And so we'll have mainly xeriscaping areas, but there are some trees and shrubs that are included that are low water usage, so that we can go ahead and start to beautify that area and landscape that area accordingly.
Now, who's going to water those, or is that going to be the renters? And part of their agreement in renting, that they have to keep those established, or?
So what we're gonna probably look at, and it depends on what the plan is when it comes back, but for the most part, most of that should be xeriscaped.
Right.
But if there is any watering that's necessary, we'll probably have to look at those options. That hasn't been defined yet, but more than likely, it will be the onus of the owners or the renters that are there on site.
Okay. Any other questions for Michael on 603? Joe? None? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Next, Matthew Baird will be giving us an update on Parks and Recreation winter festivities. I just again wanted to, the trunk or treat and the pumpkin roll and all of that, that was a success. We had a great coordination with our fire and PD. We had some discussion because the school now, early release on Wednesdays, it's not as early as it used to be, so we had to coordinate with the bus company in order to have the PD having the bus detour into the area and escort them through the event, and we got it done. Great job to the PD and to the fire department. And again, the Parks and Rec, they did a fabulous job, and there was a lot of people there, so.
Yeah, it's definitely a group effort, and thank you to PD and Fire and all the other groups that helped us on that. Mayor and Council, I just wanted to give a little update on, it's Christmas time, it's winter. Even though it's, we had a little spell of it last week, and we got more to come. We do have the ice rink that's going to be opening up the 29th of this month, so the day after Thanksgiving will be the first day for the ice rink. We started setting it up today, actually, and what we could in the wind. Then December 5th will be the lighting ceremony for the Christmas in the Park. And so our big ceremony, we'll have carolers there, we'll have the sleigh rides through the back. We'll have, of course, the tree lighting. Knock on wood, 2 years in a row, the switch has worked and the tree has lit. So it looks like this year we'll actually have real fire pits. And so for that night only, for that night of that event. The rest of them will be the propane pits like we normally do, but that night we'll have attended fire pits. I've worked with fire department. We'll actually have a fire extinguisher there at each pit. We'll attend them with staff, make sure they're protected, but kind of back to how it used to be for that night. So we're really excited about that. We'll have Cornerstone Bakery donates cookie and coffee every year. So they're donating cookie and coffee this year. We will be supplying hot chocolate. We supply it, they hand it out. So there'll be cookies, coffee, hot chocolate, all that free to the public to enjoy. Hopefully it's a little better weather than last year. Last year was really cold. We had a very cold, brutal day that day. So we're hoping a little bit better this year, but we're looking forward to it. There is free ice skating the 5th, December 5th, so that day, as well as December 7th. December 7th is the light parade, and so that will be the evening with the normal light parade in town, and we're really excited, looking forward to that. It's always my favorite parade every year, and so those 2 days we do free ice skating for everybody. Other than that, we still have the season passes for the people, the residents of Ruidoso. It's $20 for the whole season. That includes your skate rental and all you can skate for the season. And then it's $20 a day for anybody from outside the village that comes in and skates. And so we're really looking forward. As you might have seen, we've started putting decorations up around town. The Ys, we started putting them up there. We have the Christmas tree up in Wingfield Park, lights around the edge of Wingfield Park. So our guys are working steadily on getting all those decorations put up. I'll stand for any questions on Christmas festivities.
Mayor Pro Tem Salas and council, I was going to ask Matt also to provide an update on a proposed disc golf course site at Alto Dam?
Yes.
Alto Lake?
So we're also proposing, as some of y'all may know, we have the opportunity next year and the next few years to host some major PDGA events, Professional Disc Golf Association events. And by when I say major events, these are the same caliber as like professional tour stops for the PGA. It's where the big professionals actually come into play. To host those, we really actually need one more disc golf course. I know it feels like we might have a lot, but we actually need one more to really host those and be the best we can be. So we have a proposed site behind Alto Lake, the Alto Lake Dam on the south side of the river. We own a bunch of land right there. And it'd be a really great area for a disc golf course, because the way we can create that disc golf course is about half of it is actually going to be a very technical course. And so there'll be trees and things they have throw through very technical wise. The other half it will actually can be a distance course. There's some wide open areas that we can throw some longer distances. And so that course will actually be it'll be difficult because most disc golfers are they're either really good on the technical side but can't throw really far, or they can throw really far, but they're not technical on the course. And so that course will be really good at kind of balancing that out and make it a little difficult for all players. But the terrain back in there is pretty easy to get around in. There's not a whole lot of climbing, not a lot of elevation change, and so it'll be a great area to put a course in. And so we're looking to go out to bid soon on that course. To pay for that course is actually we have grant money. The Trails Plus grant will pay for things like that because it's along a trail, and it's also seen as a trail. There will be trails cut through that course. So the Trails Plus grant that we already have that money can go towards that. As we know, it all has to go toward recreational opportunities, and that's one that we can use those funds towards. And so they'll be able to add in using grant money.
How many holes?
18 holes.
Just 18.
It'll be a full 18-hole championship golf course. There is a possibility in the future to expand. We're looking at actually the south side of the lake, that hillside.
Right.
I think Dick is looking at clearing out some of that area anyways. It needs to be cleared tree-wise. Once we do, we're looking at doing a 9-hole short course. So kind of what's in a Wingfield Park type of, where kind of it can be a warm-up course. Also, we use those courses for youth events.
Right.
And so, and as well as the Tim Selinsky's that's coming next year, there are some players that are well into their 80s and 90s. And so that's actually the size course they use. Actually, I was told Wingfield might be too long of a course for one of the age groups, so we might have to shorten it up just a little bit. And it's a pretty short course, but, I think there's one player that's 87, I believe, and he's coming to play. He's already signed up, so,
Great.
those shorter courses are really good for those age groups.
And you hit it on there. I didn't think about the seniors, but the youth group when they're, because the families come.
Yes.
And they need an activity while the moms and pops are playing the long course.
Yes, and we're actually looking at some opportunities. We're looking at some trends around the nation too. Adding some baskets to like grindstone course.
Right.
So we're probably gonna add 9 temporary baskets for this tournament that will go up through the campground, and they'll just be temporary for this tournament. We're also looking at adding some through the normal front 9 of the course, because you're seeing a lot of courses now that will put their normal basket, and then they'll have a short basket, so mom, dad, kids, everybody can go play, and you'll have 3 baskets on the same hole, so the kids can play the shorts, mom can play the middle, dad can play the long basket, whichever options, and so it gives everybody can play, but you walk together, but it's not too challenging or too easy for each group.
That's good. Any other questions? I just remembered one. When does Winter Park open up?
So I know they're hoping to be open for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
It all depends on weather and snow making ability.
Are
But
they making snow now or no?
I believe they are in this last storm. I believe they were making some.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions?
Questions for Ron?
Go right ahead.
Ron, what is the status with Kinetic? They were in my neighborhood before the fire, and they've never come back.
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Salas, Councilor Corey, we've been working with them. Johnny Montoya is one of their vice presidents here with New Mexico Government Operations, and and I know Counselor Hooker's always also asked me on that also, and we're just trying to get.
Oh, yeah, real close to you. Those
Well, sorry,
dots.
they're in my neighborhood.
We're,
It's in the manager's report. If I can get back to it, I can read it to you.
yeah, we're trying to get the, more updates on there. They have brought in additional staff. I don't have, they are going to provide for the newsletter an update, but we can get you that information and just need addresses, and then we can figure out what areas they're going to be at. But I know they had a lot of trucks over at the Elegante staying there. They have a lot of fiber trucks.
If I may, Mayor Pro Tem, Manager. In here, it says Windstream has switched to all Kinetic Construction
Yes.
in-house teams. Projects in progress, Meacham and Midtown main feed build in progress, 80% on placement. White Mountain Drive is at 70% placement and still being worked. Alpine Village Road in New Mexico 48 placement is 95% placed after going back from the fire. Splicing is at 75%. Pikes Peak Road is 90% on underground placement. Delay here also due to the fire. Splicing is 75%. Coconino Lane area is 100% placed and 80% spliced. University Drive is at 85% placement and splicing is 70%. Gavilan Canyon Road and Rain Dance Trail is 85% placed. And then Innsbrook Drive has been started and is 35% on placement. Jobs next starting will be Meacham to White Mountain Drive to Raymond Buckner to Sunny Slope, White Mountain Meadows Drive to Granite Drive to Marble Court, and then finally White Mountain Meadows Drive and Hull Road.
Thank you, Counselor.
So Mayor Pro Tem Salas, Counselor Corey, what Counselor Hooker was saying is they had a company by the name of Cascade that was doing the work. And since then, they've changed, they've went with just in-house on that, so. But we can always have Johnny come back at the next December meeting also to find out, because that is a lot of areas that Counselor Hooker did mention, and I know they were doing night work at night. They did ask for permission. We allowed them to work on Sudworth that night, and but we'll keep providing that information. I know Judy and Robin are the ones that are getting more of the information from their technical support, so.
Mayor, a few more questions for Ron. The status of the software that was talked about for the nightly rentals, I know that was kind of put aside.
Mike, Alex, do you have update? You and Steph, do you have an update on the software? The new software for short-term rentals? We'll put Mr. Alex here. That is being, through his department. Please state your name there, Alex, so everyone, we have some people here who may not know you.
Alex Koenig, Community Development Director. So we are still working with Rentalscapes is the name of the company on that. We have received an updated proposal from them that we are going through, and we will be reconvening with the Planning and Zoning Commission Subcommittee on that with anticipated bringing a proposal to you in the coming months.
Thank you. And Ron, a couple of follow-ups to today's meeting. The village feedback form, I think, is great. If maybe Carrie and her team could maybe get a posting on Facebook.
Okay.
Specifically telling people that that's available as a means of expressing comments. And then finally, I had received some complaints about speeding on Main Road several months ago, and I know we put up a speed detector, given this resident's concerns on Grove Road, if some consideration would be given for that.
Okay, and I believe Mayor Pro Tem Salas, Councilor Corey, Chief Menor, we have had the speed trailer on Grove, is that correct? Have we placed someone in that area there, close to Grove, and we will continue to do that, and we have a speed monitor also that we.
Yeah, so I'll double check on the Grove. We did place them on Poor because that was one of the areas that was initially mentioned was Poor.
Okay.
Poor Drive, and I'm working with Adam on sign placement, because I think there were some signs that were missing in there, actually dictating the speed limit in that area. And I'll go back and look and see if where we've got on Grove and double check that, and I can have those placed again. Because we did get the results in off of the main road right in front of 107 Main. It was Shadow Mountain Lodge. And so we've addressed that also. And I can get the results to you also if you need them.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Mayor.
And Mayor Pro Tem Salas and council, my final is that our Mayor Pro Tem will be attending the capital outlay hearings tomorrow at ENMU Ruidoso here locally and presenting our 5 priority projects for the upcoming legislative session, so.
Nice.
Thank you.
All right.
I forgot about it. I was going to Albuquerque, but I knew last month because they brought it up at the COG meeting, right?
Yes, they
Gary?
did.
They mentioned it. I just didn't write it on the
With
calendar.
a big banner.
It was going there. So, Ron, my question and my concern is more probably to Judy. I sure didn't like those decreases on our September's gross receipt tax. So, and now for the public, even though it says September gross receipts, this is July's receipts, correct? Collected at the retail place.
Mayor Pro Tem, you are correct. Our GRT taxes are on a 2-month lag.
Yes.
So when you go buy the candy bar or whatever you buy at the local grocer or wherever you get it, that's the first month of sale. The next month, the vendor pays the actual tax to the state. And then a month after that, the state gives us our share of the gross receipts tax. This is a little bit different than lodger's tax because we collect the lodger's tax directly from the lodgers. Lodger's tax is only on a 1-month lag, so when you go rent the room, that's in that month, and then the next month, the vendor pays the tax to us. So when you're looking at the distribution or the report in the monthly report, that's actually posted on the website under the finance page. You got to remember that to find the month of sales, you have to look 2 months back on the report for GRT, but when you're looking at lodger's tax, you only look at 1 month back.
1 month. Okay.
Yeah, and so we did have a recap or a correction of one of our vendors, we believe it's a grocer, who had some months of their monthly CRS report that was in error. As you know, food tax is a deduction. I guess the vendor was actually not remitting any of their sales because we are actually paid hold harmless on those food sales. So if they don't report the food sales as sales, then we don't get the hold harmless. Well, Tax and Rev caught that error and made the vendor go back and restate their, I can't remember how many months of reports back. So we did get a little bit of a windfall with the hold harmless taxes paid back to us. So this is probably the second one. If you recall, we did receive that same situation in January. So if we can get that vendor to correctly report going forward, then hopefully we won't have all these corrections of GRT.
So lodger's tax was down, what, 59%, Judy?
It's very low, yes. That's the one that I'm really worried about.
It's way down.
Way down.
For the public, the gross receipt revenue is down 17.28% from the previous year, $973,271 decrease. Again, that's from last year. Gasoline tax revenue down 17.82% from previous year, $6,003 decrease. Am I reading the wrong numbers?
No, I just want to make one point. Although we're down from the prior year, and you can tell from last year, we had a really good year. But if you look at our budget, the village and management and the board has always taken a very conservative approach to revenues. We don't project our true growth trend in revenues. So if you look on that GRT report and you look at the overall budget, we're online as far as revenues are concerned with budget. However, when you look year to year, it looks horrible. But just remember that we're still making budget. And as we continue to recover, we'll not only probably make budget, but we'll be probably a little bit over budget, even though when you're comparing year to year, it looks really bad.
Thank you. And as Councilor Corey mentioned, lodger's tax is down 59.28%. Previous year decrease of $585,498. So that's what we were talking about when the fire went out. And I think lodger's tax, if I was explained right, the hotels, I know Steve said they have long-term rentals. So after 30 days of rentals, they don't pay. And I think some of the short terms did that as well.
Exactly.
And
Some
I
of the
know-
motels in
and,
town.
Yeah, and Upper Canyon Cabins, I know my granddaughter works at one of those, and she said, yeah, they had FEMA or National Guard for a long time, so that's where I'm thinking some of that decreased through. Any other questions for Manager Sena?
Great report.
Thank you.
Any questions for our Madam Clerk? I just thought I'd throw that in. Moving on, reports from municipal officials, and we'll start here with Mr. Eby.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, first of all, yesterday being Veterans Day, I want to thank all the veterans that they're within hearing of my voice. Personally, thank you all for the sacrifice and dedication that you put forth in choosing to defend this country. So thank you again to all the veterans and also all the active military, no matter what branch you're in. Second, congratulations to all the village employees on their awards, and to Ashley, to Eric, to both chiefs on their retirement, to new chief, Stephen Minner. Thank you for sticking around. And so that just goes to show you the type of people that the village really also has as far as in its employment. Randy Kane here informed me that he's going to stick around until December of next year.
Nice.
Good.
I didn't strong
Oh,
arm him.
no, he just said maybe.
And I didn't strong arm him. He just said that he wanted to make sure that there were some projects that were well on their way or completed. And so that shows his dedication to the village and also to projects that have started under his time here. And there's going to be a lot of big shoes to fill in a lot of different areas, but I'm confident that the village will fill them, maybe not quite to the ability, hopefully, as Randy and all the others that are going to be leaving. Oh, and congratulations to you there, Mr. Hall. I've known you and your dad for quite a while, and your mom. I think I met her first, hanging wallpaper. Yes, but, so congratulations, you're a great asset, and moving up for the village. And other than that, it was just a great month last month as far as the cleanup, the opening of the museum, and we're just ready. Oh, and also there was a great turnout at the election. I worked the election, so we had 1,141 people come through the convention center, not counting all the other voting centers, and statewide, there was a great turnout. And Lincoln County really did very well. So congratulations to all those who won their elections. And with that, turn it over back to you.
Thank you. Councilor Letterman?
Well, ditto with a lot of what Joe said. I want to say congratulations to Ashley. Well done on her floodplain management of the year. Of course, Eric Queller. Chief Minner, thank you very much for sticking around and saying you'll be the leader. We appreciate that. And then, I can remember working when I was 16 years old at the pool, at our pool here, and Kate's mother, Kelly, with her horse, with all her siblings on the back of that horse, leading the horse around. So Kate has been at my house since he was a little boy. I have been doing this kind of stuff for over 30 years, and my son Zach has never come to anything that I've done to say, good job for school board, good job for council, but he showed up for his friend Kay. So I think that goes to show you the cycle and, the leadership. That's what we want, is we want our kids hopefully to go off and do your thing and then come back home and be the leaders of our community. And it's been a great pleasure watching Chief Cade Hall throughout his career, and I'm very proud. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilor Hooker.
Congratulations, everyone. Good job, promotions, keep going, all that good stuff. I'm going to see if Mr. Stevens will answer a question for me. How's the business? We've talked about it. You just heard us say all that stuff. You're a business owner. We see what you're doing there physically, but what do you think?
It's been tough, it's been tough on everybody. It's down, what is it down?
A lot.
It's climbing back up, we're probably down about 50%.
And yet your parking lot is full all the time.
Well,
People are sharing, we see a lot of that. They're not, taking a bunch of stuff to go, they're not doing desserts, they're not putting on extra drinks.
Yeah.
Nobody can hear.
yeah.
I'm gonna
No,
say
I wasn't trying to put you on the spot, but it's just, that's something we talk about. We see these numbers, we see all this stuff going on. You guys got your businesses going there. It's not like we're going to hear anything radical, but it just, are we, you think we're going to come back? You think it's making it? Good.
We are.
We're banking on it.
Good. Yeah,
There's a lot of people in town that are.
absolutely.
It's, you mentioned the parking lot being full. It's full for the couple of days a week when everybody in town has something going on, the Christmas Jubilee. Those things are what keeps everything moving, always has. Ruidoso's done a great job at building something every weekend to fill in the dead times between horse season and ski season.
Yes.
And that's when the parking lot's full. And then it's a chore stretching it.
Sure.
A lot of folks are doing it, and we'll have a good spring, summer, holiday season. So
All right.
Very
Thank you.
good.
That's all I had, Mayor.
Is that all you have?
Thank you.
Councilor Jackson.
Oh, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I just want to do a shout out to the street department. During that last snow, they had equipment I'd not yet seen. They have one that's a brush mobile that goes down the sidewalk, cleans it off in front of the
That's
businesses.
the Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec, sorry, don't want to, oh, I see Matt back there. And also the street cleaning and blading. We were down to one lane each way, and it didn't seem to slow anyone down. And Randy will stay another year, but we have to get him a new Viking cap each year. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you. Councilor Corey.
Mayor, first of all, on behalf of all of us, our thanks also to Joe Kazabuski for his dedicated work, and we appreciate everything you've done. Congratulations again to all those that have been promoted. A public service announcement, contrary to popular belief, Councilor Hooker did not hit me on the head, but I do want to put a plug in for the importance of sunscreen, particularly at our high altitude. And finally, a big thank you again to Ron and Adam for always responding quickly to the concerns we express to them that have been expressed by our citizens. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you. And I just mimic everything that was said right here. I do want to thank Councilor Hooker and Councilor Jackson for their service in the military. And it was a good, small ceremony for honoring our veterans at the flag raising at the senior center. That was yesterday at 11 o'clock, and my wife said, "Oh, I'll take you out to lunch for for Veterans Day. And I said, oh, okay, where are we going? K-Bob's. She knows I like K-Bob's. We don't eat there much. Come to find out, they're giving free lunch to veterans. So she didn't pay for my lunch. I'm gonna make her take me back again where she has to pay.
You have to wait a year.
Like, what? Oh, no, but it is an appreciation to all veterans who serve and will continue to serve. And as everybody said, we're a community, we help each other out. I just continue with the season of giving coming up. Just take a few minutes and thank someone. I mean, it could be anybody. I always appreciate the grocery workers, you know, the ones that are stocking. Just, you know, tell them hello and smile at them. They really appreciate that.
I have one other thing.
No, you already got it. No, not really. Go ahead.
I just want to say that Scott, and I am so sorry, it's, what's your name? Lisa. I am so sorry, Lisa, it's a senior thing, I'm sorry. Scott and Lisa, you know, during the fire, they did a lot to stay and help out with stuff, and they received a big award in Albuquerque, and I'm sorry, what was the award?
Community Service Award.
And so I also wanted to honor them. Because it does take all of us to make this world go around, and we appreciate everything that y'all did.
Thank you. Second chance, anyone?
I'm
Go
sorry.
on there. Okay, moving on, public hearing. I'm gonna reverse this and go to item number 2. Public hearing for consideration of a wine grower's off-site liquor license to Pecos Flavor Winery LLC for the proposed location at 1056 Meacham Drive, Ruidoso, New Mexico. Who's presenting
I can do
this?
that,
That's
sir.
Jenny.
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem Salas and Council. On or about September 19th, 2024, received an application from the Regulation and License Department where Pecos Flavors LLC is requesting a wine grower and off-site location application for service at 1056 Meacham, which is Jack's Backstage. The notice of this public hearing was published in the Ruidoso News twice as required, once on October 3rd and once on October 17th. The clerk's office did not receive any letters of opposition or approval.
Any questions from the council? Okay, at this time, I'll open it up to the public. Is there any questions, concerns for this application? I don't see anybody, nobody online, Devon, nobody saying anything, so I'll close the public input and I will entertain a motion.
I move that we accept the wine grower off-site liquor license to Pecos Flavors Winery LLC for the proposed location at 1056 Meacham Drive, Ruidoso, New Mexico.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Counselor Letterman?
Aye.
Counselor Eby?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Salas?
Aye.
Counselor Hooker?
Aye.
Counselor Jackson?
Aye.
Counselor Corey?
Aye.
All right, thank you. We're going to take a 5-minute break so I could sign some papers right quick to address this issue. So have another piece of cake. If there's any left.